And happy Saturday evening to all you fine folks out there in Facebook and YouTube land. Welcome to Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show right here live, coming to you live every Saturday night. And we want to thank you for taking the time to invite us into your home tonight. Right now, we need you to do something for us. We need you to like this video as well as share it on your Facebook. All you got to do is hit the like button and then hit the share button, and it will transmit over all of your Facebook pages, and we'll get our show out to even more people out in the online wide world web or world wide web, whichever you call it. But anyway, we're glad you're here. Just hit the like button, hit the share button, and share our broadcast tonight. We're coming to you live tonight from the studios at Enterprise, Georgia, our studios in Thompsontown, Georgia, our studios in just a few moments, 100% Flamingo Road, Georgia, our studio live remote at Woo's Nail Salon in Haleburg, Alabama, brand new studio tonight coming to you live, broadcasting live in all 57 states, 5 foreign countries, and 3 sunken islands. And don't forget, if you want to catch the rerun of tonight's show, we have a permanent slot. It's 10 p.m. on Thursday evenings, right behind Pentecostal Preachers Gone Wild. We have a permanent time slot there. We liked it so much, we just decided to keep that permanent time slot. 10 p.m. Thursday nights, right after Pentecostal Preachers Gone Wild. And tonight, for the very first time, we're coming to you live on the big 75-inch big screen TV. And we're being broadcast tonight at Wardale's Rent-to-Own Emporium. Rent-to-own wedding gowns, rent-to-own commodes, rent-to-own dentures, and used encyclopedias, both World Book and Britannica, in Willacoochee, Georgia. We want to give a big shout out to Wardale. Got a picture of him right here. Let everybody know who Wardale in Willacoochee, Georgia is. And he owns the Rent-to-Own Emporium, where he rents wedding gowns, commodes, rent-to-own dentures, and used encyclopedias, both World Book and Britannica, all the way over in Willacoochee, Georgia. And we want to give a big shout out to Wardale. So if you need to rent a wedding gown, a commode, or dentures, or you want to rent a set of used encyclopedias, all you got to do is call out to Wardale in Willacoochee, Georgia. And again, we welcome you tonight to our broadcast. I know ball games are going on everywhere. Georgia's playing right now, and that's all right too. You can watch one. If you're ambidextrous and double jointed, you can watch a ball game and Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports at the same time. But we want to welcome you here tonight, guys. We got folks all over already posting and watching tonight, and we want to say welcome. Charlie, take it away.
All right, Wardale must be a busy fellow over there, because I noticed Wardale hadn't got a set of them dentures in the store that he can use. He's got them all rented out, boys. He's doing the numbers over there.
You got to be reminded now, Wardale is also the repo man. So if you can't pay for them rent-on dentures, Wardale's coming to get them, and they use, them Dremel tools. Man, that's the greatest thing. They just Dremel them things down till they'll fit whoever needs them.
Yeah, but Wardale, he got his super glued in. He got that Gorilla Glue running around here. They ain't taking his back.
Well, but you got to understand, Wardale, he's too busy renting them out. He can't put them in his own mouth.
Yeah, but Wardale's the one that need to be watching out for the take back, man. Y'all ain't told nobody what his last name is. That's Wardale Lloyd. That's Floyd B. Lloyd's.
That's his
brother.
cousin.
That's Lloyd. Yeah, cousin.
Oh no, it's half brother. I thought they were cousins.
Maybe they are. I thought they was half brothers. I didn't know.
Half brother sounds better to me. I like that one there, Queasel.
Yeah. Wardale Lloyd.
I'm a little worried about Queasel there. Marvin, he's so relaxed back there in that chair. You know what he's doing. He's double dipping. He done took one earphone out and put another earphone in, so he can hear the Georgia Bulldog game in one ear and hear us in the other. I just hope he don't go to cussing, because something that might happen to them Georgia Bulldogs here in a few minutes.
Man, look here. I got him in the ear. I'm watching him on the television. I'm watching the car race on the telephone, and I'm doing the Dirt Road Sports. I'm watching that number 9 lead the way around Bristol, Tennessee. He leading the way up there right now, and Georgia's on top right now. You acting halfway decent. Everything's good so far.
You got it under control. You multitasking Queasel Erskine. Let me tell you,
I
Ain't
got it
nothing. Let
going
me
on, brother.
let me ask you boys something. Y'all kind of y'all in that deal. Most everybody on there that's on a cable or something don't get Dothan TV stations. You get Albany.
That's right.
Something I gotta ask you boys over here. We have got one fellow that's screaming, "Call me, Alabama," and then we got another fellow screaming right after his commercial, "Have a wreck, get a check. I'm the Alabama Hammer." Do y'all have them kind of lawyers over in that part of the country?
Well,
One call, that's all.
yeah, Sokolov, and what's that other one? There's another one. I can't remember what it is, but for the people, Morgan and Morgan,
Yeah.
for the people, and James B. Sokolov.
Y'all
And
don't have
one call,
Alexander.
that's all.
Y'all ain't got Alexander Shannara.
He stops at the line.
Okay,
I don't
all
know
right.
about him.
It's Alabama Hammer, Mike Slocum. But now, Queasy, you like to ponder things like this in your mind. If
I do.
somebody's running a commercial that says "Have a wreck, get a check,"
Ah,
ain't that kind of encouraging some of these rednecks around here to go out there and
Let me
pull
tell
out
you.
in front of somebody?
Let me tell you something. Here's what it encourages them to do now. Now this ain't no joke. This this is this ain't funny. It's to the point now to where if you have a car wreck and nobody is hurt so bad that they can't get the phone out, they film everything you do trying to catch you in a mistake so they can send it to them ambulance chasing rascals who's gonna come over and try to get a check. That's what the deal is. It is some well, I better be quiet. I'll be said
I,
something I ain't supposed to.
ah.
But
well, now,
so,
they
sometimes you cannot do your job for the cell phone.
and what they're trying to do is find you and the emergency assistance folks that are trying to save a life or get somebody injured out of a rough situation, trying to find a way for y'all not to do exactly something right where they can sue
Yeah.
you.
It wasn't too long ago I saw the person that was doing the videoing uh, while they was trying to put the other person, the patient, on the stretcher. That person told the paramedic to move because he was blocking the view of the camera. That's the truth if I ever told it. And I don't tell it much, but that is the truth. I saw and heard that. So, there's always a camera rolling somewhere, but it's them ambulance chasing rascals that they can't go out and win a case in court. So they're going to go try to find folks out here trying to help people and find one mistake. That's all it takes is one mistake, and they'll take you to the cleaners.
That's where there's something else here to get worried about, boys. I don't know if you're
And look
reading
at
your
him.
mail. You reading your
Look at him.
mail
I
down
got to
there,
say,
Marvin?
Yeah, what's going on?
Marvin, you better step up. You better step up. Your cousin and his wife is hot with you.
Why?
Well, because you got lights out there on the hill and down here on the south part of town, they ain't got no lights.
Yeah, see, we got several
All
tonight that are watching No Power in the
down there,
Dark.
no
Oh,
power. And your cousin's wife can't watch Georgia play
How do you know? I mean, how do they know I got power?
because
because
the
you're
light
doing
on
the
the hill
show.
never goes out.
I mean, they watching the show and they ain't got no power.
The light on the hill never goes out. It
Here's
never
some.
goes away.
Did you feel like somebody was looking over your shoulder at you during the week, Queasel? Marvin, question for both of y'all.
I don't know why. What's happening?
Well, y'all's buddy Tony Clay said he put an APB out on y'all last week
Oh,
Yeah.
on
yeah,
all of them.
he come by the fire station and left a threat, left a card and left a threat and said he would be back, that we could run, but we couldn't hide, that he would catch us sooner or later. What he said.
Well, now the message I got when he came by my office was that he had just come by to anoint me.
Oh, that what it was?
Yeah, I don't know what he was going to anoint me with, but he was wanting to come and
Well, was he incinerating it? Maybe you ain't saved or something? I mean, what's the
I
deal?
don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was saying that I needed anointing or what. Maybe I didn't. Maybe the last time I was anointed, it wasn't heavy enough oil.
Yeah, that's
What weight? What weight was it?
It was an olive oil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he might use some of that synthetic oil.
Yeah, or some what's that heavy oil? 8W50.
You use that 20W50. That's what you use.
20
You got
W.
that 20. That's what you keep in your pocket. That 20W50.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is. So what's going on over in Alabama? There, Charlie.
Well, Meemaw, and Jumping Joe is having a little go about each other on the same thing about your employees will take the shot and this and that and this and that. And Meemaw said she ain't taking nothing off of Joe. Joe ain't responded, but I come up with a pretty good idea. You know, different charities need different things. I think I ought to get back in the wrestling promotion business and have a one fall, winner take all, Meemaw against Joe Biden up at Legion Field in Birmingham. Boys, what y'all think?
She could
I
whoop
put
him.
I put my money.
I'd be betting on Meemaw.
I'm gonna bet on Meemaw if I get in the matchup. I guarantee you. There he is.
Yeah, I'd be betting on me.
Yeah, I
Equipment
made it.
bingo.
Yes,
Hey,
I made it. Made it, boy. Good
Joe
to see
Biden
y'all.
couldn't
What
even
y'all
find
been
the
talking
football
about?
field.
What y'all been talking about?
About what an
What
outstanding
about the
fella
ball
you was.
game? Y'all been talking about no ball games? Anybody play ball today? Anything?
Georgia playing right now.
So we need for you to clear up. I didn't say nothing, but one of them said it was your cousin, and the other one thought it was your half brother. You can figure out which one said what. And if you would put up that picture of the fellow that y'all said was a Lloyd,
Wardale. That's Wardale.
That's
Wardell
Wardell
Lloyd.
Lord. That's him.
What about Wardale? What did Wardale do?
He ain't done nothing.
Well,
He just. I think Charlie
my,
trying to poke fun at your kin folks. That's what I
no,
think.
I didn't say they were your kinfolk, Floyd. Those two did. But now, would you please?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You need to
They
bring
know
him
my
up to
kinfolk.
date.
All them folks.
Bring him up to date, Marvin, on why his picture was even up there.
Well, but we on the big screen tonight at Wardale's Rent to Own Emporium. Rent to own wedding gowns, rent to own commodes, rent to own dentures. Used encyclopedias, both World Book and Britannica, in Willacoochee, Georgia.
He's in that high rise over in Willacoochee, ain't he?
Rent on commode.
Yeah. On commode. Can you imagine being the repo man?
Woo! What does Wardale's repo man look like? Have you got a picture of Marvin?
Yeah, no, but I got a picture. Here's Wardale. I put him up. Wardale.
Yes. Oh, Lord have mercy.
He don't take no. He don't take credit cards, just cash only.
Cash only. Cash only is COD too.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Wardale.
I wonder how many
In God,
encyclopedias he's got rented out.
Oh man, you won't do, Marvin. Do something else. Y'all see me on my commercial this afternoon?
It was a good one.
With them there, we have two of my auction buddies over there in Campbellton, Florida. We've done a big farm equipment auction down there, farm and construction stuff. Had a large time. Hundreds of people down there, hundreds and hundreds of people, men, women, all nationalities down there, all races, creeds, everybody down there. And it's just millions, $2 or $3 million worth of money changed hands, and all that kind of stuff. Ain't nobody even get in a fight down there.
They didn't have no scrap.
There wasn't nobody throwing trash cans through windows and turning over stuff. No, man. And like I said before, at least 3/4 of them had a pistol on them. And,
well, I was going to come down there and see what was going on, and I kind of figured I wouldn't go because of two reasons. With everything going on in the country, I figured there'd be a fight down there between some gangs or something, And then I got to think about it. Last time I was down there at an auction, it rained 5 inches in 2 hours. So
we missed it today. We missed it down. I pulled out down there about 5:30 Florida time, Panhandle, Florida time. Pulled out 6 o'clock, something like that. Pulled on, head on to the house. But let me tell y'all what. Coming into Malone, Florida. Now it had put one down there, buddy. Let me tell you. Woo! And peanuts plowed up down there, man. I was going down there this morning, going to the auction down there. And I've smelled that smell before because I know I smelled it in 1979 because it was mine laying out on the top of the ground out there. I had 150 acres of them plowed up, ready to harvest. They were doing about 4,500 pounds to the acre, and it set in and it rained 21 days on them, 21 straight days on them. Not a big rain every day, but it rained every day. There'd be a little water standing in the middle there, you know. And I smell that smell of them vines rotting. And I caught that whiff this morning right before I went into Malone, Florida. There, I caught that whiff of them peanut vines rotting. They had them, and they had a bead drought on them, man. They had their tractors. They had them modest pickers out there. They had dump baskets. They had it ready to go, and they had picked a few of them, and they looked like good peanuts. But I got that smell, and man, it put a chill down my back. Because that's when my life pivoted at that point. That was in 1979, in case some of y'all wondering if this has ever happened before. But
and then you got kicked.
Caught that smell.
You got kicked again in 1980, didn't you?
1980 was a total disaster. Yeah,
that's 2 years in a row.
I irrigated peanuts in 1980 and plowed them up, and there wasn't nothing on them. And they were irrigated peanuts. It was so dang hot and so dry you couldn't do nothing. Anyway, hey man, I done hold that row. I'm holding on a whole nother row. If that hadn't happened, if a good Lord hadn't put me in that position at that time, I never would have even known Charlie Platt. Never would have known. I probably wouldn't have never known Marvin. I'd have known Queasel, but I wouldn't have never known Charlie Platt. Never would have known none of them. That's Gerald Mason, Donnie Dean. Never would none of all them folks. All them folks that I interact with at these auctions. My friends been my friends I've been in this business for 39 years. And
wow.
I'm telling you, 39 years. And I met some of the greatest people in the world at auction folks, man. I'm telling you, they for real now. If you want to see Americana, go to a farm equipment auction in Southwest Georgia or Northwest Florida or Southeast Alabama. If you want to see Americana, if you want to see it, that's it.
But, and with technology like it is, Floyd, and with the changes in the world, that's a dying breed. We
do a lot of internet. A lot of internet sales. You selling. You got your little iPad. You got your iPad in front of you there, and you got your guy over there on the web. He's collecting bids from all over the country, telling you who's bidding, telling you how much money they bid, and you got to keep up with all that. Keep up with all them folks on the ground down there. But had a lot of internet activity today, Charlie. A lot of activity on the auction, internet activity, and them folks paid with a good check too, man. So it was a good sale. It was a real good sale. People were, everybody was in a fairly good mood, just like farmers always are. They always try to be upbeat. They got to smile about something. But it's fitting to get serious. I'm gonna tell y'all, if this rain keeps going, if it sets in here and does what it's been doing for the last few days in here, it's gonna get serious. So farmers, my heart goes out for you, son. I guarantee you, I've been down that road. I done hold that road. I know what you're going through. So praying for you, boys and girls. There's women farm too, you know.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, that's my little spiel for today. I done got my little 5 minutes worth in there on my deal there, but everything's good. Nadine's good. We getting along good, man. She feels good. She drove up while I went to the auction today in Camden. She drove up there and spent the day with Rojo in Albany, Georgia. Up there, went out to eat out.
All right.
And went to Dillard's and what do you call that other place? TJ Maxx, several of them places up there. And having a big time, having a large time. She drove up there, met Rojo. They went to eat dinner, visited with one another, just had a grand time. Ain't nothing like having good friends in your life, folks. I'm telling you, ain't nothing like having real, true friends. Know who they are and cling to them. But anyway, she done good. Drove back home. She got home a little bit before I did, and she got on in here, and it had rained. It rained on her. It put it down on her too. She said around Baker County, said it put it down up there in Baker County. I got friends up there at farm too, so praying for y'all too, guys. Y'all hang in there. But we doing good right over here on Flamingo Boulevard. Doing good. My only thing is my my landscaping professional has kind of slipped and slided on me this past weekend, because Everybody bringing in fish. He has who so and so brought me a cooler of fish. So and so preacher, even the preacher, even the fishing reverend brought him a cooler of fish. So Leo to spend a bit of his time cleaning fish and putting fish up and cooking fish. And I asked Leo, I said, when you gonna have a fish fry, fish cookout? He didn't have no answer for that. He didn't.
No, he don't. He be cooking them for him.
Yeah, he cooked them for him. I know he cooked them for. He
I
cooked them for
see
him
it.
and his sister and his family.
I see him in the morning at church. I'll quiz him on when he gonna invite us to a fish fry.
Yeah, we don't have a fish fry because he'll tell me all about them fishes and all. Everybody bring him. He cleaned the fish and all that kind of good stuff. So, he got it made though. Look at him. He got it made. Hey, my place is okay. I cut my grass one day this week myself. Got out there early. Might have been yesterday morning. I cut it. I had to have my neighbor over here. My neighbor over here, not my neighbor on the west side over here, not the one that lives in the big white mansion, but my other one down here. My neighbor, my down to earth neighbors. I had to cut my grass, and man, he said, "I got to keep up with you, Floyd." Said, "I got to keep my grass," because he was out there cutting his yesterday afternoon. So I'm impressing on him, the keeping your grass cut. That's an example. See, that's how you lead. You lead by example. But he does. He leads me more than I lead him, I think, on yard work. Floyd, but my yard man let me down this week. But next week, he said, next week, we're going to get together next week. I said, okay. Yeah, y'all go ahead.
What?
I mean, y'all go ahead. I'm through.
I said that you're not going to believe it talking about fishing, but the fishing reverend will not be on tonight.
I don't doubt it. Hey, what do you mean I ain't going to believe it? Of course I believe it.
Yeah. Number one, he did not go fishing this week, and number two, he had a wedding and a funeral today.
Bless his heart.
How do you? I ain't understand how a preacher can preach a wedding and a funeral.
That's pretty easy.
Well, you looking at one, that one right next to you that can tell you all about it.
I know. How can you do that? I mean,
you can ask him.
I mean, the funeral ain't too bad, but how can you go do the wedding?
Oh no, you have to ask Marvin.
You just got a script for a funeral and a script for a wedding. But I'll tell you this, I done enough funerals in the last month and a half, and I hate to do a wedding, but I would take some weddings right now over some funerals.
You got that right.
So you got a little deal going on wedding now. You gonna reduce the fee on weddings?
Yeah, if I can get some weddings over funerals and not have to do any funerals, I'll cut the price of a wedding. Yes, sir.
I believe it.
How much you gonna cut it?
I don't know. It depends. There's a lot of variables. See, you just that's too generic of a question. You got location. Is it going to be a rehearsal? How many in the wedding party? How many? Like what's the mood of the bride that I'm gonna have to put up with, and the wedding director. I mean, I can't answer that. We got to sit down and have a preliminary meeting and fill out a sheet. And then I'll do an algorithmic equation to determine the amount of discount given.
In other words, it's going to be expensive.
Expensive is a subjective there. It's in the eye of the beholder of what is expensive.
That's right.
Question: Does what is on the menu at the rehearsal and at the wedding itself, food-wise, affect your price?
Exactly, absolutely, 100%. If it's just gonna be little chinchy stuff, the price will be a little more expensive. But now, if
finger foods,
like the night before, if there's like a prime rib or a steak meal, and then it's like a seated down reception and all that, yeah, it's gonna affect.
Well, lobster and stuff like that.
You in the bidding war for a wedding now, and I'm negotiating it for him. I'm his agent. I'm the wedding agent. You in the bidding war, and this will be an elite wedding here, because this will be a what would you call it? And
it's a dignitary wedding.
Dignitary, that's the word I want to talk about. Yeah. Dignitary wedding.
Our mayor, the mayor of Colquitt's going to be getting married, and he's asked me to perform.
That's right.
On hand. I was number 2 choice, and I will not tell you who the number 1 was, but it did not make me feel good. If that gives y'all any indication that he hit me up the second chance.
And so he has hired me to negotiate the price of everything.
Floyd,
Marvin ain't wanting to leave nobody no room to make no money but him.
I can answer all these questions about all. I can answer all the questions. I just trim it right down to the cob.
do it.
What is it?
Marvin wants to look at the bride's parents' financial statement. Whatever that financial statement represents, that's the level of pay that Marvin is going to expect. Now that's it. He can talk about all this other stuff. All this other it means nothing.
That's it.
Financial statement from the bride.
So
I just had a
Floyd,
text.
do you think?
Hold on, quiz. I just had a text from my attorney, and he said, "Tell them the maximum fee is $1,000, but I feel like that the mayor should be done for free."
Who said that?
My attorney, Attorney Hare.
Your attorney.
Yeah, my attorney.
Oh, your attorney Hare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hate to rain on the mayor's parade, but I'm hoping he ain't expecting it for free. Because I know you. I mean, you don't operate that way. Floyd is exactly right. What I want to know, Floyd, is when you've heard him say it. He said it so many times that he won't marry nobody without counseling them. He got to meet with the husband and wife and talk.
That's
to them.
right.
Does he meet with the wife's parents as well? From a separate meeting.
Yeah. Whoever writing the check, whoever writing the check.
Okay.
Now
I see.
But there again, I really don't like to take a check on a wedding. I'd rather have cash because that just ain't good business. It's kind of tacky to do check. Emily Post and Amy Vanderbilt would tell you always pay the man of the cloth with cash, not with a check.
Well, your work's done.
Your
work is done. You've done all of your work. And here's your money. That's the way it needs to be. I agree with you 100%.
I ain't put nothing past you since I seen you bury that poodle. I ain't put nothing past you.
It wasn't a poodle. It was a schnauzer.
A schnauzer?
Yeah, it was a schnauzer.
I thought it was a poodle. Oh, okay. I didn't know what it was. What was that? Tell them what you done. Go on and tell them.
Well, it was.
When I tell him. Wait a minute. Hold it now. Keep him honest, Floyd. If he don't tell the truth, you keep him honest.
I know exactly how it happened.
I've been pastor for 10 years now at Flat Creek. I was about 1 year in. Of course, I was new. I was new pastor and all that. Hadn't been preaching long. And I had this woman. She was I call it a Yankee Floridian, and she visited our church quite often. And she come up one day and called me and said that she wanted me to do the funeral of her little dog. It was a schnauzer that had died, a little bitty lap dog, and the schnauzer had died. And she wanted me to do a funeral for the dog. And of course, I'm young. I didn't know. And I was like, ma'am, I just don't feel good about that. I feel like that's insulting and kind of, I didn't want to say beneath me, but for her to ask me to preach a funeral for her dog, I think she got a little offended by it. And she said, well, I was going to pay you $300 to do it. And I didn't bat an eye. I said, ma'am, you didn't tell me the dog had been saved.
I got a text up here on my thing, up here on my screen from Mr. Womble over in Seminole County over there. And you talking about all that cash money and everything. He just brings up this question. How does the IRS look at this? So you better ease back.
Marvin, that's a good question.
You better pull back on the front. Now easy back, Marvin.
It's time now to do our advertisement. Buddy.
I needed that conversation.
Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports is proudly brought to you by our good friend Carlton Buddy C. Chambers at Franklin Spring Creek Ford. All your vehicle needs. 229-254-3109. Carlton Buddy C. Chambers. Carlton had his procedure done. One of his procedures done last week, and he is doing good. Matter of fact, they're watching the show tonight. But hey, he's still in the driving seat. He's still in the Hall of Fame, and he's still selling cars. And if you need a vehicle, whatever it might be, if you need one of them big Ford F-350s, if you need a car, you need an SUV, whatever you might need, call Carlton Buddy C. Chambers at Franklin Spring Spring Creek Ford in Colquitt, Georgia, 229-254-3109. I promise he'll hook you up. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show, and he'll give you a special deal.
I guarantee you he sold 2 or 3 whites. He was in the hospital over on them folks over in that hospital.
Oh yeah,
he can sell them anywhere.
The
yeah, he can do it. He can do it. Now, what was this?
Marvin,
we were talking about the IRS.
Marvin.
A friend of mine want to know how does the IRS look at that? Of course,
cash only.
Monitor this big time, Marvin.
Didn't he say he didn't like to take a check? That cash only, was what he took.
I need to remind all of you that this show is being brought to you tonight by Carlton.
Hey, you one of a kind, Marvin. We love you, buddy.
Remember, I got the controls at my hand now. Look right here what Marianne Wells says. She said, "I love the 3-notch Jew." That's pretty good right there now.
Whoa.
Oh, Lord help. Hey, Peppy's watching there, Floyd. She's said that's the truth.
Peppy's watching said that's the truth about selling them cars to the nurses and all over there.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you he did.
I bet right before they put him under, the anesthesiologist, he was trying to sell him a car.
Yeah, he give him his car.
If he can get you,
call him if you need a ride.
If he can get you one-on-one for 5 minutes, he be done sold you something.
Walking man.
He do it. He can do it.
Melissa Tillery says you look nice with your ball cap. She likes that.
You like that ball cap? That's a real
deal.
Yes, ma'am. I ain't taking nothing from a Trump cap. Trump the man.
Nope.
Trump the man.
Ain't for sale.
The national news this week. I hadn't even watched it this week.
No.
Oh man, he changed the narrative. They done did such a foolish thing over in Afghanistan. Then he come in here and started mandating them vaccines. He don't care where you get no vaccine. Not all he wanted to do was change the story off Afghanistan. That was just nothing but a straight political move. He knew he can't go nowhere with that mandate. You can't mandate people to do stuff they don't want to do, and he knows that. But he done it, so he didn't. He ain't smart enough to do it. Somebody up in that White House figured it out, and they just changed the story so they would leave the Afghanistan thing alone. That's what I think's going on.
Well, he had to go on vacation. He had to go to the beach this weekend too.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
So holding half of the doggone 50% of the antibodies from DeSantis in Florida too.
Oh yeah. They're gonna punish us. All the southern states ain't gonna get the antibody. We're gonna get 50% of what we need. He could care less if we all die. In fact, that's really what he would rather us do, just die out. That's his plan. What he wants us to do, just die out, and then we won't be in his way. So, I've been watching a little bit of it, and I noticed they got a little issue in Texas out there. I don't know if y'all seen this or not. About 15,000 Haitians are up under a bridge in Del Rio or Waco? Del Rio, Texas. 15,000 Haitians. Now, I'm going to ask a question to all you liberals out there. If you liberals are watching this show, and you probably are not because you probably done cussed us out, which is fine. That's what we like. But if you are a liberal and you're watching this show, I want you to explain to us how 15,000 broke, poor, starving Haitians got to Del Rio, Texas to be under a bridge. Now tell us, how did they cross that Gulf of Mexico to get into Del Rio, Texas? Now, did somebody bring them, or how did they get there? I want y'all to answer that question. News media has not even asked that question. So tell me how they got there, and tell me where they're going to go from there. Tell me where they're going to go. I tell you where they're not going to go. They're not going to go to Washington, D.C. They're not going to go to Martha's Vineyard. They're not going to go to Nancy Pelosi's neighborhood. They're not going to go to any of these news media people's neighborhood, move into the area where they live. They're not going to go there. Where they're going to go is to places where, like me and Floyd, me and Queasel and Marvin and Charlie live, and you, all of you folks out there. That's where they're going to send them to. So now you imagine Cockwood, Georgia. Right. Just take Cockwood, Georgia. Imagine Cockwood, Georgia. How many? 2,500 people in here. 2,500 people live in the city of Cockwood. 3,000. Let's say they bring 200 Haitians here to Cockwood, Georgia, and dump them out on the street, because that's what they do. They dump them out and they give them food stamp cards and whatever, welfare cards and Medicaid cards and every kind of card you can imagine. They dump them out, and then they say, here's you a pile of money. Here's you some money. Here's you a debit card. Go find you somewhere to live. Now, where are they going to go? Then all these children, they're going to go to school. What school are they going to go to that speaks Haitian? Good Lord, how much of these folks are crazy. And just people just sitting back and just totally unaware of it. Totally unaware of what is happening to this country. Just sit there.
You telling the truth, brother.
You
telling the truth.
I'm on the way out. I'm on the way out. I done about hold out to the end of the road. But let me tell you something. These children, these young folks, whoo, mercy. Have mercy on them. I'm telling you.
Let me tell you how much this country has changed in just 9 months.
9 months. How much has it changed in 9 months?
Look at him. I was one of y'all. I was one of y'all what said I ain't gonna watch the news more after they stole that election. I said I ain't watching it no more. And but I got to thinking that ain't the right thing to do. So I changed my mind. You better be watching the news.
You better be watching.
See what's going on. You better be watching Fox News, because that's the closest to the truth you're going to get. Most of the things Floyd's talking about, the big networks ain't even taking. They ain't even covering it. They don't say a word about it.
They ain't worried about
it. The Communist News Network, CNN, they ain't going to say nothing about it. The only hope we got is Fox News tells the truth. And you better be paying attention.
You better be paying attention. You better find out what's going on, because it's coming to a neighborhood near you, buddy. And the Afghanis, who knows how many tens of thousands of Afghanis that they bringing in here. None of them speak English. None of them have a skill. None of them have a talent. None of them know anything other than 7th century Stone Age stuff. They've been marrying their first cousin for 1,400 years. Now I want to tell me how smart them people are. They've been marrying their first cousin for 1,400 years, since 700 AD. Now tell me how smart they are. And they still doing it. And then you get a 55 or a 60-year-old man, and he'll marry a 10-year-old girl, and they think that's cool. Then he won't just be satisfied with one. He'll get him 3 or 4 more and marry them.
Yep.
So now, y'all tell me how all that's going to work out for y'all, all y'all liberals out here. I want you to tell me how that's going to work out for you, all you Joe Biden supporters. How's that going to work out for you when they move next door to you? So,
we make the mistake. We don't want to know about it. We make the mistake. We just going to turn the news off. Better turn it back on, and you better listen to it.
Turn it on.
Because your future is right in front of you. Your children's future, your grandchildren's future. It's eroding every day. They having less and less and less opportunities for this nation to even have a free country to grow up in. I worry about babies that's born today. What is the United States going to look like in 20 years?
It ain't going to look like it has for the past 20. It ain't going to look nothing like it.
No. We better stand up. There better be some people stand up and get involved and put a stop to this mess.
There's a cat just put something on there. I'll tell you, he just put, and he's fine. I ain't gonna call out who he is. Said my son is helping build tent camps in New Mexico for the Afghans. Why don't your son go to where homeless veterans are and build a damn camp for the homeless veterans instead of Afghanis in Mexico? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do something important rather than just, oh, I feel so good. This is so good. I just feel so good about it. I'm wound up.
Hey, I know the situation on that. He's doing it because he's in the military, and that's what
okay. All right. Well, why ain't the military doing it? Why ain't they building camps for homeless veterans?
Yeah.
No, they ain't going to do that. No,
the military
It has become social services. That's what it's become.
Well, ain't that general what he gonna call? What ain't they said that the general was gonna call China if Trump was gonna attack them? He was gonna call them and warn them. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I believe it. I believe anything.
You do know they killed Benedict Arnold. They hung him for that.
Mm-hmm. That's why. That's how they need to do. They need to bring back. They killed Benedict Arnold.
They need to bring some of these veterans. They need to go get my Uncle Homer, get him back up out of the ground and let him go face that general. What was going? Some of them fellas that fought in World War II and the Vietnam War and the Korean War, and fought all that kind of stuff. And then they gonna warn the enemy that we might attack.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that ain't true. I'm hoping and praying that ain't true.
It's 100%.
I believe it's the truth. I do.
He's concerned about white supremacy in the army. That's what he's concerned about: white supremacy and transgenders. That's what he wants to protect.
The military has become the leadership of the military has become woke, if you will. That's what they want. A woke organization, and that's why they're building Afghan tents for Afghans in New Mexico. Is because the leadership is directing them to these.
Yeah, they have to. I'm sorry I picked on you about that. I thought you were talking about he was down there doing it for some kind of other deal, but I know what you're talking about now, my friend. I'm sorry. But anyway, he has to do it because he joined the military. He didn't join the military to build tent cities for Afghanis in New Mexico. He didn't join. That's not what that young man joined the military for. He joined it to improve the position of his life. He joined it to get an education. He joined it to get his life straightened out, to help him get his life in order, to help him be a better man. And they got him building camps in New Mexico, people, rather than being on the border, keeping people from invading this country.
Yep.
This is probably going to be the last show we do, y'all. Y'all probably know that. That's probably going to be the last one we do. But if it is, maybe it'll have an impact on somebody. But I want some of you liberals. White liberal. If you're a white liberal, I want you to call me and tell me what a great job Joe Biden has done. He's done nothing but destroy this country from the day that he was inaugurated, from the very first day. Your gas is up now about $1.50 a gallon on account of that idiot. That's just one thing. Go to the grocery store and buy you some food. All of y'all buy food. You have to eat. I know you do. Have to eat. So go to the grocery store and buy you some food and see how much your food costs you. See how much a used car costs you now.
You can't even get a new one.
Can't get a new one. Can't get a new car. It's impossible to get a new car. Got to get a
ride down there by the Ford place. You can't hardly find a new car.
Parking lot's empty. That young man, I don't know how many millions of dollars him and his family invested in Carpet, Georgia, cars, doing a great job. The sales tax base that they created here in Miller County, selling cars to people all over the country. Now you can't get a daggone new truck or a new car in there because of a stupid chip that's made in Taiwan or made in China somewhere. Can't get a new truck. Can't get that. No, y'all don't need that. We don't need that. We got to keep these Chinese propped up. We got to give them total control over our whole lives.
They got it.
Guys,
they already got it.
I'm gonna change direction just a little bit here on you.
I need a blood pressure pill right now.
Our fishing reverend will not be with us tonight. He, as said before, he didn't go fishing this week, and he had a funeral and a wedding, and so our thoughts are with him. But he did send some pictures. Here are 3 catfish that Michael Chestnut caught this week. One in the center weighed 40 pounds, and then I think it was a 25-pounder and a 30-pounder there. But that's some pretty good sized catfish right there. Caught this past week by Michael Chestnut.
Michael Chestnut.
Him some good ones. Right there.
He needs to be putting fingers in peanut pickers and tightening up chains on inverters and changing oil in tractors and beating out air filters and all in tractors. Man, it's fixing to be peanut picking time, and he going catfishing? Yep. Please.
Look like it done been to me.
Done been.
There's another whales catch. They keep catching them. 31 inches right there. Big old red fish right there caught by whales.
Oh, whale? Which one?
That's Dr. Edward Wales' daughter right there.
Yeah, but she took out her mama. She didn't.
Have you ever been fishing with Marvin?
No.
Good.
No.
chestnut with that.
But
how much
but
that in chestnut got weigh? How much he weigh that in chestnuts?
Well, there's a 40 pound, a 30 pound, and a 25 pound, and then that one of Dana's. I don't know how much it weighed. It was 20 inches. It probably weighed 30 pounds right there, pretty close. 20 pounds.
But now here's look at here, Floyd. Here's the problem with that picture right there. You see that fish right there? You got to throw that fish back because he's too big.
Yeah, he's
the one
too big.
Dana's holding, you got to throw it back. He's too big. Now that's when me and the game warden gonna have trouble. When they tell me I got to throw one back because he's too big. Now too little I can go along with, but too big. I don't hear that.
Well, he got a law. He got an extended family. That fish got an extended family. He's been here a long time. He got several children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. Got to throw him back.
I'll tell you a story. I went red fishing one time. It's been 25 years ago, and the man I was with, we was tearing them up, wearing them out. You know, they got to be 18 inches to keep them. And I caught one, and it was 17 3/4. He said, "Lay it down and put your foot on it. You can squeeze another 1/4 inch out of him."
That's what you done, ain't it, Martin? That's what you done, ain't it?
There was a preacher in the boat with me, so I did what he said. Yeah.
I know.
Guys, I know this kind of went real quick right now, but we are at the time right now to our long-awaited time with exclusive sponsorship by Berry Hill Auctioneers, Floyd's Short List Books and Definitions. And tonight it's being brought to you as always, and we'll in perpetuity, Berry Hill Auctioneers. Fine outfit and organization out of Ohio, and we appreciate his sponsorship of Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show, and most exclusively and most especially Floyd's Short List and Books and Definition.
I've got one that I would be remiss if I didn't repeat it tonight. I think it bears repeating every night, if I may. Okay, here it is right here, including his bladder and his bowels, things that Joe Biden has control over. Here we go. Here we go. Here one right here. Here one. And it's been on the news all week. I've been busy this week. I really had put too much thought process into my short list this week. But anyway, these are some that I came up with. Taliban glamour photographs. And here's one that I'm recalling. This previous one. Glamour shots of Maxine Waters without her wig on. And then here's another one. Very short list. Glamour photographs of Maxine Waters with her wig on. Good one. Think about this one. My favorite people. I had a guy ask me today. He said, "What? Tell me about what was them Pentecostals?" I had to explain to him what a Pentecostal was. He said, "Oh, I told him one word. Well, I used one name, and he knew exactly where I was headed. Pentecostal preachers that have become Catholic priests." That's a short list, ain't it?
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be that Catholic. They be something else, but ain't gonna be no Catholic. Pentecostal preachers that are transgender. Oh, what's back, Marvin? Oh, what's it? Whoa, Floyd, back up, Floyd, with that. Right here, one right here. Hey, the Taliban vocabulary. The vocabulary of a Taliban fighter. Here's his vocabulary. Taliban vocabulary other than these words. Other than jihad, Muhammad, Allah Akbar, death to Israel and America. That's it. That's his vocabulary. Complete vocabulary of a Taliban fighter. I'll go through them with you again. Jihad. That's number one word. He loves that. Mohammed. Oh, he got to say Mohammed 411 dozen times in the course. Mohammed, praise be to his name. He gonna put that in there. Mohammed, praise be to his name. Gonna put that in there. Mohammed and Allah Akbar. That's right before he blows himself and about 50 other people to smithereens. Allah Akbar. That's another favorite word. And his favorite, the favorites of all is, and they hold signs up, walking around with signs like this. And these liberals over here in the United States of America love them. And they hold these signs up: death to Israel and death to America. That's their vocabulary. All right, let's get in here with the, oh, here's one. Here's what I just came up with this one just a little while ago while I was in my sermon mode there. People that are more dangerous to America. Now listen, I'm going to go back and repeat some of that. I'm going to repeat that for some of you who might not understand where I'm coming from. People that are more dangerous to America than a white liberal Democrat.
Whoa.
That's him. That's all our Akbar coming on. That's him. So y'all remember that. People that are more dangerous to the security and to the continuation of America than a white liberal Democrat. There's no more dangerous person on there. Sensitivity training. Have y'all heard that before? Do y'all know anybody that had sensitivity training? Sensitivity training. All these big corporations, all these, what you call them, the wokesters, all these big corporations, they got sensitivity training. All right, here's the Wikipedia definition of sensitivity training. A form of training with the goal of making people aware of their own goals as well as their prejudices and become more sensitive to others and to the dynamics of group interaction and to address the unconscious biases of individuals. So they're going to take these people in. Everybody they bring in there go automatically. Well, not everybody, but I'm going to get the Floyd's meaning down here. Y'all get the gist of it on the sensitivity training.
Oh,
yeah. Does that make sense to y'all? You understand where I'm
Oh,
all sugar coated, man. All this. Oh man, sugar won't melt in their mouth. That's what it's all about. All right, here's Floyd's definition of sensitivity training. People in the workplace that are bullied and forced to pay for and attend a seminar that vilifies you for being a white person, a Christian, a married heterosexual. If you're honest, if you're smart, if you're hardworking, if you're having goals, if you're law-abiding and patriotic, you are vilified and told how awful you are as a human being, and if you don't change your ways, we're gonna send you to the re-education camp. Basically. Anybody want to argue with that? Call me. Yeah, I don't get nothing out of y'all there. Y'all giving me room, or y'all giving me my own space?
I didn't know if you was through.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the.
Hey, that's covered it. Yeah. If you any of those things right there that I talked about, if you any of those, they coming after you, buddy.
All right,
if you got a job anywhere, if you're in a workplace, somebody's gonna talk to you about sensitivity training. I promise you.
That's right.
It ain't gonna be good for you. It is not gonna be good for you.
Hit that hit the first one more time again. I like to begin and end with that one.
Which one?
The very first one you did.
The very first what? My very first short list. Including his bladder and his bowels, things that Joe Biden has control over.
And that completes our Floyd's short list books and definitions, exclusively sponsored by our good friends at Berry Hill Auctioneers. All right, Charlie, we are about 4 minutes. We're out of time. If you will, take us to the top.
I want to go back to something that Queasel said. Get involved, get active, be a part of taking back our country. My good buddy KW Keene, who's watching tonight, he and I talk about this on the phone all the time. What kind of a mess this country's in. We've done a lot of things that are stupid, but the dumbest thing of all is throwing God out on the sidelines. Whether it be at school, whether it be in government, well, you can't do without it. Without Him, we're nothing. And I think you know, some of the things going on in this country right now are of course signs of the times. And most everybody that I know and talk to, and Floyd said, get you a good set of friends that think like you do. Well, most of mine think the same way. They think we're living in the end times. We've heard about it all our lives when we were in the drug rehab. We were drugged to church morning, night, and on Wednesday night as kids. A lot of us were, some of us weren't. But we've heard it, we've heard it, we've heard it, and now the doggone it don't think we're going to see it. So the best thing we can do is get involved, try to do the right thing. Not try, but do the right thing. Do what the book says do. And pray for one another, pray for this nation. To you, please.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I agree with you. We have substituted everything that there is, put everything that there is before God, before what this country was built on. And but you know, here's the thing: we know how that's going to all turn out. We done read the book. We know who's going to win that game in the end. We know the story there. But here's what I want to say. You know, people, they sit back and they don't want to go get involved, and they say, "Well, I'm just one person. So what if I do run and get elected to something?" That's the only way you're gonna do it. We got to get God-fearing, good, honest citizens in office, and it's got to start locally, and then go to the state level, and then go to the national level. They say, "Well, I'm just one person." Listen, history, you can go through history and show time and time and time again where one person made a difference. One person can make a difference. One person can stop something sometimes. One person can start something one time. All I want to know is, are you going to stay in the boat or are you going to get out? Take it, Floyd.
Yeah, baby, I agree 100%. I'm sorry I preached to y'all tonight. I got a little wound up there, but this stuff's been on my mind. I've realized what's going on. I've seen a lot of things. I've come a long way. I'm older than any of these other guys. I've seen things. I come up in a time. I come up in the glory years. Charlie, he was right behind me. Come up in the glory years, and Craig right behind me, and then Marvin come along. But I've seen it. I've seen the people. I've seen what the people can do. I listened to those stories that my father and my mother told me growing up and listening to those things, and how they survived, how they made things with their own hands. My daddy would sit down in the floor during the wintertime and he would shell peanuts. He would shell peanuts for his seed for the next year to plant. You could plant your peanuts in the hole and they wouldn't about a third of them come up, but you could shell them, and they wouldn't have no peanut sheller. They don't have nobody have no peanut sheller around here then. He sat down there in the floor. He said he sat down and he shelled his peanuts, enough peanuts that he could plant them a few acres the next year. That's what he did, make a crop. They cleared stumps off of land that they had bought, that Babcock had come in here and just raped all the timber off of it. They wasn't nothing but stumps on it. They cleared land with mules, with a team of mules. He and my mama cleared land with a team of mules and made a living. They provided. They weren't wealthy people. They weren't wealthy, but they believed in God Almighty. They believed in doing the right thing. They believed in helping their neighbor. If they could help a neighbor, they helped a neighbor. Now, let me tell you, if we still had some of that, and we still got it in us, it's in our DNA. We just need to claim it. We need to claim it, and we need to say, hey, I'm better than that. I'm better than that. I got more important things to do with my time than spend it all day long on the internet, playing video games or doing some kind of stupid something like that. Do something good. Do something good for somebody. If it ain't nothing, if it ain't nothing but give them $5. If you see them in the grocery store and they look like they need $5, walk up to them and say, here you $5, man. Here, take it. You don't owe me a penny. You don't owe me a dime. So do that. And I still ain't preaching, but I just know the things that are important in my life, things I want to do before I die, things that I'm gonna try to do, and I hope I got enough sense to do them until I do die. But anyway, Lord knows we love y'all. Thank y'all for listening to us. Y'all had to put up with a lot with us listening to us, but we appreciate it. We love y'all. Good night, y'all. Go ahead, Marvin.
Guys, thank y'all for joining us tonight. I want to give a big shout out again to Wardale over in Willacoochee, Georgia. Wardale's rent-to-own emporium, rent-to-own wedding gowns, rent-to-own capotes, rent-to-own dentures, and used World Book and Britannica encyclopedias all the way in Willacoochee, Georgia. Say a big shout out to them. Tell them thank you tonight. Put this on the screen. Let's give another himself.
Bless his heart.
Guys, y'all don't have to invite us into your homes every week, and I know sometimes y'all may get aggravated with us, and we are very passionate about what we do, and we are passionate about what we believe, and we just want to be an encouragement to you. I know we sometimes talk about things that are political and all of that, but listen, we got to stick together, and we got to love one another, and we need to be an encouragement to one another. We need to just encourage one another. Life's hard. Life's tough. There's a lot of death. There's a lot of sickness, and there's a lot going on, and we just need to encourage one another. Hey, we going to make it. Let's just keep pressing on and keep doing what we know to do that is right, and if we do what is right according to the Bible, we always going to be right. And so I just want to encourage you in that this week. Our verse of the scripture for the week is this: for where 2 or 3 come together in my name, there I am with them. That's what God's promised us. Where 2 or 3 gather in his name, he will be right there in the midst. Tomorrow is Sunday morning. I want to encourage you, where you can go to church, worship the Lord, give him his due. If you're not able to go, there's plenty online worship services. There's plenty of church on the television. You just worship God tomorrow in truth and in spirit. We want to thank you again for inviting us into your home tonight. Hopefully you'll join us again next week. Same place, same time, right here on Facebook and YouTube. And we love y'all, and we hope you have a great week, and we want to be an encouragement to you. And in turn, you go out this week and you be an encouragement to somebody else. We love y'all. Have a great week.
Good night.
See y'all.